CanDo podcast today with my good friend Erika Bell. Erika, thanks for coming on today. So happy to share your story and much, much more. Thank you. How are you today?
Thank you for having me, Adam. I am well. I always say I'm blessed and highly favored, um, but I am well. But I am very thrilled to be here with you, and I'm just excited to do this with you today.
Well, thank you so much. And I want to get into it because your story is so impressive. And I find this common theme with all ketoers. You know, there's such a great community and such a great turn of events. Tell me your story and how you got started, because I think it's just remarkable. And I want you to share the story of where you started and where you are now. And then we'll get into it as we kind of unpack things. But your story is absolutely incredible, as with many ketoers out there, but you're especially highlighted with all the things that you've done and the doors that it's opened for you. And please just talk about that to our audience, because it's really remarkable.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I am thrilled because back in August of 2018, you could not tell me that any of this would be happening. I kind of have been suffering from being overweight for maybe 12, 13 years. I'm significantly overweight. August of 2018, I kind of hit rock bottom. I put on upwards of maybe 50 pounds or more in, just a few months. I suffered from what I call the 3Ds, death, depression, and divorce. And I lost a dear family member to diabetic complications. And it just took, it just sent me in a whirlwind. I was already going through some things, and that really put me over the top. So I just was packing on the weight. Hi, my name is Erika, and I'm a recovering carb addict. So
I love that, Erika, recovering carb addict.
I am a recovering carb addict. So I was stumbling around trying to find things to help me with my mental place. I was suffering from depression and anxiety, and I kind of just needed some help. I went to my doctor and, was being treated for that, and then talked about really being ready to get my health together. I was pushing almost 400 pounds, and I went to seek assistance for gastric bypass. And my doctor was against it. It was something that I did not really want to do personally because I have underlying health issues. But I really felt like, I tried everything else. I tried any lifestyle or diet that you could think of, I've done. So he told me I had to lose 30 pounds in order to have the gastric bypass. So that sent me on my way looking, okay, well, I didn't even think I could lose 10 pounds, let alone 30. So I stumbled across paleo. I tried that. What I was trying to do is wean myself off of sugar. I did Whole30 for a week or two, and it was working. I started seeing a little, difference in the way I was feeling. And then I found keto. Keto saved my life. I found keto, and a few weeks in, I started to see results. And a lot of women that I talk to now, they say, I lost over 100 pounds in 10 months. And most of the questions I get is, how did you do it? Like, how did you stay the course? And my answer is results. I immediately started feeling better. And I found out really quickly that it wasn't about the number on the scale. It was the way it was making me feel, eliminating these foods from my life. So fast forward, 10 months later, I lost over 100 pounds on keto.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Would you say that it was more physical or more mental for you? And talk about that, because I think there's a huge difference, or maybe both. It may have been both. For me, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt. For me, it was both. Number one, I always believed in myself and I could do whatever, you put your mind to. And I think the mind is the most powerful part of your body, but to actually do it is one thing. And then when you actually get going on it, it's like a snowball effect. It's like, holy cow, this is exciting. Like, this is unbelievable. Like, my whole life personally, I've been in my chair, and it's been harder to lose weight than the average person that can get up and run or walk, because you're not burning the average calories. So for me, it's not that I was a junk food eater, just I needing to learn how to eat. And I think that it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. But circling back to my question, talk about it mentally and physically for you and how that felt.
Well, physically, I can tell you I was not very mobile. I do not have cartilage in either knee. I was heading for double knee surgery actually as well. That was a part of my plight in going to my doctor to say, okay, I don't want to have knee surgery. I'm not ready for that. I was 48 years old. And that's another thing, when the older you get, you're told that your metabolism is just shot. So it's like, how do you jumpstart this thing without having surgery? The physical piece was pretty tough. At least I thought. I like what you said, because if you believe you can, you can. And what's funny is in the beginning, I didn't think I could. I really didn't. I spoke negatively to myself for so long. I was kind of in that place. But as I started to feel better with eliminating the carbs and the starches, the pasta, the rice, the potato, once I started eliminating those items from my life, I started getting energy that I had not had. So the physical piece started to come together. Instead of me coming home from work and getting on the couch, I could come home from work and take a walk around the pond. I would say the majority of my journey has been more mental and mindset than physical. What's been awesome is I couldn't walk 5 minutes when I started, and now I can walk 5 miles. So
That is
mindset over everything.
awesome.
Yes, I agree.
And you know what makes me so excited is to see the smile on your face and the sense of accomplishment. Talk about that and what that, I mean, obviously it must mean the world to you, but what's the first thing that comes to mind when you see this smile and the happiness?
It makes me emotional. And I said to you before we started, I don't cry. I shed gangster water because I'm a G. I'm not really a gangster, guys, but I've always been pretty much a tough cookie. But it makes me so emotional because I used to cry tears of sorrow and deep depression and hopelessness. And now I cry like tears of joy, like real talk. It really makes me feel overjoyed. And I think that's why I've paid it forward. And we'll talk about that later. But, this feeling of euphoria, I didn't have that. I'm the mom of 4 boys. I have 3 of my own and my stepson, 30, 31, 28, 19, and 15. I have to, my memory is a little shot. I did have a stroke prior to doing keto. So I've got some cognitive issues, but just being happy, to answer your question, just being able to get up and have hope, just to be inspired to keep going. It's been everything to me. It really has.
That is great. Talk about the support system that you had going through your journey, because for me, it was such an incredible thing. My friend, my family have always been extremely supportive of whatever I've done. And I've always thought that, if you have the attitude, attitude is everything. And talk about that mind shift from going to, it's going to be so difficult. Yes, I can do that. And when was your aha moment that you said, man, I got this thing?
That's a good question. I want to say my aha moment was, just to give you a day in the life before I started keto. I would wake up, get the kids ready for school, get myself together, get in the car, head to Dunkin' Donuts, have coffee and a breakfast sandwich and donuts, get to work, sit down and eat it, snack after that. And then, go to lunch with my coworkers, eat, come back from lunch and then come back and eat. It just seems like I was just eating and eating and eating on a regular basis. My aha moment was when I, stopping at Dunkin' Donuts on the way to work. When I got to work and told my coworkers no. When, my aha moment was really when I realized that it wasn't much to saying, I don't want that. And it wasn't even that I was craving it or no longer craving it. It was like, I know now what those things were doing to my body. So I'm good. So my aha moment was when I realized that I'm not going to trade anything for this feeling. I'm not going to trade these items that are not doing me any good for this feeling that I have now. So yeah, I think it was just a process of me changing that habit of the ritual that I had with food, and really being able to say, you know what, I'm good. I don't want this stuff anymore. That was my aha moment when I realized that I had some self control. I didn't think I had discipline. That was my aha moment.
You know, it's funny you say that because I say that keto is a lifestyle. It's not a diet, and it's really like learning a new language. And we've all been through it, and it sounds like you really mastered the language of diet. I don't care whether you call it keto. I don't care whether you call it whatever, but you really done a great job. And I remember, I said, I don't know if I'm going to be keto forever or whatever the case may be, but I know that I'm not going to be heavy ever again, because I know that's not a place where I want to go. And I'm glad that you brought that up because it's so important. That's really great that you're able to reflect and think and to be able to talk about it, because it really is like, you're addicted to carbs or addicted to a certain way that wasn't a good feeling, and you don't want to go there anymore. You're not to that place anymore, and you realize how good of a place you are in now, and you want to stay there.
Yes, sir. Now I'm a continuous work in progress. 2020 was much.
Of course.
2020 had me a little shook. I'm not going to say that I went off course,
Right.
but there were some trying times. I mean, when the big C hit, me and my family, we went Armageddon shopping. So we we bought everything in the grocery store in preparation, and that stress and that anxiety starts coming back a little bit because you're thinking, what's going on in the world. And I did find myself kind of thinking about old habits and kind of trying to hold tight with that. But you just said a word that means a lot to me, and that's heavy, because I was physically extremely heavy. Again, I saw myself on the next episode of my 600-pound life because that's how heavy I was.
Right.
Feeling heavy, but my heavy weighed more up here. My heavy mentally I just felt so defeated. And honestly, what keto has allowed, um, it has allowed, and when I say keto saved my life, I mean it, because it really allowed me the I guess wherewithal to really decide to choose me. So that weight has been lifted, not just physically, but mentally. That heaviness mentally is gone. It's a game changer.
Great. And we'll get into this more in detail, but what are some things that you would tell somebody who is in your position? I don't care what level of weight, maybe mental state or whatever. What advice would you share? What's the biggest, I guess, simply the biggest piece of advice that you would share with somebody? What's the biggest gift that you've learned about yourself through this journey?
Woo! Again, so much makes me emotional. What I would say is,
I want to see those gangster tears.
oh no, 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 no. What I would say is, don't give up on yourself. Forget about the whole don't give up and Nike, just do it. I mean, don't give up. For a while, I gave up on me. I made everybody else a priority. Again, as a mom, I have a significant other now, as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend. I made everyone else a priority other than myself. So my advice to someone that might be where I was is, number one, make yourself a priority. You will be a better mother, a better wife, a better friend, a better boss, a better employee. You'll be a better you when you put yourself first. I would say don't throw in the towel on you.
Never.
Make an effort to be your best self, and do not give up on you.
That's great advice. Um, I want to, you've done so many things that we talked about at the beginning of the show. I want you to tell the audience, you mentioned before how keto's changed your life, and it certainly has, both from a physical standpoint and obviously a mental standpoint, but you're really sharing that with the community. Talk about what you're doing now, and how you are really paying it forward. You mentioned that earlier in the podcast, and I think I've been fortunate to have a lot of guests on, and we always talk about how strong the keto community is. And I want you to touch on it from your standpoint, from your thoughts about the keto community and what you're doing. Tell our listeners what you're doing, because it's very exciting stuff.
Thank you so much. I will tell you that when I first started my journey, I wasn't very social media savvy. I had a Facebook page, I had an Instagram page, really to stalk my son, who is overseas. And I decided, once I really made the decision to get serious about my health, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to tell the world, hey, world, I'm almost 400 pounds. No one knew that. I carried myself outwardly very confident. So if I walked in a room, you would know that I was depressed and anxious, because I put forth my best face, but internally I was broken. And as I created this space online, like, I have friends and family that love me and adore me and want the best for me and want me healthy, but they never understood where I was. They didn't get what was going on with me. And once I started this online community on Instagram, 5 followers in, I was like, oh my God, I have 5 followers. And then I went to 500 followers, and I'm like, and then I started talking to people regularly who were going through exactly what I was going through mentally. And I started realizing, wow, there's other people out there just like me. And as that grew, it became amazing. I really felt like not only was I trying to be motivating and inspiring to others, but they were inspiring and motivating me as well. So along the way, I started doing these calls on Monday nights. I called it Keto Talk with BGGK. And I just started, talking to women and telling them what I was doing, because everybody was like, well, how are you doing this? I'm watching you melt away. How are you doing this? You have to share it. So I just started sharing and sharing and sharing and sharing, until it came to a point where I was like, this might be something I can do. Maybe this is my calling. Like, maybe this is it. So having a support group for me has been everything. So I started a support group called Beautiful Girls Gone Keto. And what
I
we
love
do,
it.
yeah, so it's, and just so I can just talk about this, my name is Erika, but I have created and developed a group and a business called Beautiful Girls Gone Keto. Now, the beauty is not about what's on the outside. It's about finding the beauty within. So many of us have not felt beautiful. And first you have to fall in love with the girl in the mirror. So yeah, I'm just doing awesome things with like-minded women and men. Now, I found Clubhouse. And are you on Clubhouse, Adam? Clubhouse has
Yes.
been, oh my goodness, my
Yes.
Keto for the Soul family has been amazing. It's been
That
amazing.
is great.
Yes.
That's great. I have to tell you, I haven't spent a lot of time on Clubhouse, but everybody is getting into it, and I need to spend some time on it. But it's so great for being able to connect with so many people. So that's awesome. Tell me more about it.
Well, Clubhouse I just got on Clubhouse maybe 3-4 months ago, right when it launched. And what's funny is, I don't follow a lot of people because I could get distracted easily. So because I've been trying to just stay laser focused on getting healthy, I kind of felt like I didn't have as many. I had people that wanted help and that I was helping, but I kind of didn't feel like I had the camaraderie of other people like me, keto coaches, so to speak. So when I came across Clubhouse, I met like 50 keto coaches. And it's like, and not just coaches, people. Yes. And to talk to other people and be like, wow, it's just been amazing. Between, again, it's social media, but I have met so many people that feel more like family now than anything. I've started my own clubhouse called Keto Saved My Life. And my goal is to talk to women again, like me, and men where I was, to try to help and encourage them to just choose health and wellness. And whether they choose keto or not, just making the decision, the conscious decision to put their health first.
I think that's so important. One of the slogans that we use here at Keto Crisp is to inspire and to empower people to live healthier lifestyles each and every day. And you talked on this before. What is your aha moment? Being able, just to be able to do more things and just to feel better about yourself. Um, Talk about what's next for you. What do you continue to do next year? I mean, maybe it's just maintain, maybe it's continue to tell your story and to get other people involved. And you talked about, being a keto coach, and I think that's great. Talk about other ambitions that you have with keto and where you see this going for yourself and for others, most importantly. Because I can tell that, that's a real passion of yours, is reaching out and touching as many people. And that's what gets me most excited about Keto Crisp and the CanDo company, is to be able to help and to inspire and to empower, because thankfully back in the day and every day, people inspire me and touch me in so many ways that I feel like I'm giving it forward every day, like we talked about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love the motto with CanDo. I think that's amazing. Well, one of the things that I can say too, along my journey, I started realizing that anything that was negative in my life, or anything that wasn't bringing me joy, anything that was causing extreme stress, had to go. So I had been in account management for 27 years. I walked into my job and had a conversation with my boss and resigned um, because it was something that was bringing me too much stress. And I just felt I needed to find something that I enjoyed. And this keto coaching was it. For me, I started Beautiful Girls Gone Keto. And then through that process, I started hosting events to meet up, because you figure you're creating these relationships with these people and you're really creating real true friendship. So I was like, we have to meet. There's no way that we can talk every day and not meet each other. So I did my first event back in 2019. I had a second event in 2020, which was during a pandemic. It was amazing. We gathered safely. We capped the event. And I'm excited because I'm on my third event now. This is going to be the largest out of the three that I've done. So I think that I'm going to start doing a little traveling with the event piece and connecting these souls, excuse me, these keto souls. One moment. Okay, here we go. So I think that I'm interested in pursuing that. I also started my own business called Bronze Diamonds. It's a cosmetic line. So I have a couple irons in the fire. I'm just really excited about just pursuing being an entrepreneur.
That's great. That's great. What I want to kind of jump around, and I love all your thoughts, your insight. What is the best thing that keto has taught you about yourself that maybe you didn't know, that are just like, and you talked about it with your aha moment, but what is, thing that sticks out, that you're like super excited about, that you're like, like we talked about, growing up, my whole life, it's been difficult, more challenging for me to find a eating lifestyle that works. But it seems like it's just more than that for you. Talk about what's the best thing that this lifestyle has taught you, whether it's connecting with people or just about yourself. And you've kind of already covered it, but I wanted you to touch on it again because I think it's really, really critical.
Well, I mentioned earlier that I'm a mom and I have 4 sons, and I really feel like and I'm going to continue to do this, but I've poured into them and poured into them and poured into them. I mentioned my older son who is overseas. All of my boys are my pride and joy. But that my oldest son that's currently in Italy, he started playing basketball at 8, and he's never stopped. He's still playing, and now he's playing overseas professionally. But what keto has done for me is the drive and what I instilled in him, what I tried to instill in him, not try because I accomplished it, we're just showing him how to believe in himself, how not to give up on himself, to keep pushing, to let him know that he could accomplish his goals. For years, I didn't even believe that for myself. So what keto did for me, and again, when I say keto, it just, the clarity, the focus. When I know people say, well, how did keto do this for you? Well, what keto did for me is it allowed me to clear all the muck, again, hi, my name is Erika and I'm a recovering carb addict. So the clarity that I got, it allowed me to focus on me, to say, Erika, you can be successful. You can do what you set out to do. You can meet your goals. So the biggest thing that I've gotten from this is just, the freedom of knowing that I can do. How about that?
Exactly.
I can do it. Yes.
Because life is about what we can do and not what we can't. And that, it's such a great thing. Growing up, my family and friends have always been my role models, and I think you answered that. Would you say that, in addition to your kids, who are some people that you've looked up to along your way, or even before you started your keto, as a role model for you?
My parents. My parents. My parents actually had their 55th anniversary on the 15th of April. So my mom and dad, I'm a twin. I have a twin brother. I'm the youngest of 3. I have an older sister, Yolanda and Eric. And my parents, even though I'm only 3 minutes younger than my twin brother, I've been the baby. And to this day, even at 51, they still treat me like a baby. But they have been so strong. They have displayed what really being great parents are, great people, the humility, the drive that they have. I adore my parents, and they have been my role model.
Great. What are your parents? Are they retired now?
They are. Actually, I'm originally from New Jersey, Jersey girl, Jersey in the building.
That's awesome.
Yes. So when I moved, my mom is originally from Louisiana and my dad is originally from Georgia. So I decided back in 2001 to leave Jersey. I came to Florida one November for my birthday. It was maybe 20 degrees and snowing in Jersey. When I got to Florida, it was 85 degrees and everybody had on shorts. So I was like, I want to live here. I want to live here. So when I moved here in 2001, my dad, he wasn't quite ready to retire, but he also came back. He helped me move here and was like, oh, I want to move here too. So my parents moved to Georgia. My dad retired from the post office. He worked for the post office for years after being in the Air Force. And then my mom followed suit. So they're in Georgia. They're about 4 hours away from me. My mom, I'll be telling a fib. I want to say they are 75 and 78.
That's great. That's awesome. My parents have been huge role models for me, and I could talk about them for hours and hours and days and days. And I think that, family and friends and parents are really critical in, shaping who we are as people, and definitely thankful for them every day, every second. So that's beautiful that you can talk about them, and it's great. It's great. I'm really, really thankful for that. Let me see here. I have some other questions I want to get into. Let me see. Talk about exercise. I know for me, like, I started in the pool, and that was really exciting for me because it opened up a lot of doors. I'd always wanted to be, involved in exercise, but didn't know how. Tell me what kind of role you touched on it now. Before, when you were overweight, you could walk 5 minutes and be out of breath. Now you can walk 5 miles. Expand on that and talk about your daily or weekly activity with exercise.
I'm glad you brought that up because one of the things that I really enjoy is being outside. So I'm really not, I need to learn to, I don't have to go to the gym to work out. I know I can get in my living room and do it, but I really, really enjoy being outdoors. It helps that I'm here in Florida, of course, because of the weather. But I do enjoy walking, but my primary joy is riding my bike. And again, I got my significant other bought me a bike well before I started keto, and I never rode it. I may have rode it once or twice. Once I started feeling better, I got on my bike and started riding it. And a year or two later, I got a real bike, and now I really bike ride. I'm
That's
not
great.
that. Yeah, what's odd is I need to work out with weights. I need to do aerobics. I need to, do a little bit more physically because with the weight loss, I don't have a lot of loose skin, but my arms really need some weight training. So I would like to start, focusing on that. I like to dance. So I'll do, dance moves and things like that. Anything that makes me laugh or keeps me happy is what I want to do. So I ride my bike. I've been riding my bike. I did a 30-day challenge last month where I rode my bike every single day. My goal was to ride no less than 5 miles and no more than 25. I've reached both, the 5 and the 25. And I really, really, really enjoy bike riding.
That's great. And I love it. Talked about that, talked about we really covered it all, Erica. Is there questions
We
you
have.
have for me?
Well, I can tell you, number one, I'm so excited about my event that I have coming up that I touched on a minute ago. It's called the Keto Health and Wellness event. It's going to be here in Orlando, Florida. It's the 3rd annual event. But it's so amazing. It's almost sold out already. We're capping the event as well because we're going to recognize some COVID safety protocols. But I'm so excited that we've got diversity, that we have, my events in the past have been all females. And now we've got men. I'm so excited.
That's great.
It's for everyone. So I'm super excited about that. That's going to be August 27th through the 24th. Additional information is available on that at Beautiful Girls Gone Keto. We still are looking for sponsors and vendors. And I'm so grateful to be working with you. And I'm looking forward to my guests enjoying your Keto Christmas. Wow.
Well, we're super excited to be a part of it. And I can't thank you enough, for coming on today. We've hit a lot of topics, but I'd like to end the show with, what is your biggest can-do moment of your life?
Whoa, my biggest can-do moment of my life. That's a good question.
You can take a minute to think about it if you like. For example, for me, it was, losing the weight because it was something that I had always wanted to do, but didn't know if it would ever happen, for me. And, I set it as a goal, and I'm a real goal-oriented person like yourself, and, like to have things structured and organized.
Right.
But for me, being able to actually do it, was a real, and my whole life has been can-do. So, it's always, that's what I focus on, and what I like to do, every day is, let's talk about what we can do now, what we can't. So
right.
Go ahead. And I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but that's okay. This is
No,
our show. We can do whatever we want.
You are an inspiration to many, and I'm so thrilled to have met you and to hear your story. You are amazing.
Thank you.
I'd like to, piggyback off that and say that I'm very proud of myself that I was able to lose over 100 pounds naturally. I'm still a work in progress. I'm 5'10". I went from a size 24, 26 to a 16. So people may see me and go, well, she's still a big girl. Well, yeah, because I was a 24, 2016. I lost half of me. But I still want to, come down and tone. But I kind of enjoy being thick. Um, but my biggest can do, I don't know if it's of my life. Of course, being a mom has been my biggest
Of
joys.
course,
That's my
of
best
course.
joy. And my actually, you know what? I'm gonna tell you what topped it. Being a grandma, having my granddaughter Zoe has been everything for me. After
That's
having 4
awesome.
boys. Yes, so I had all boys and then I got a granddaughter immediately. So I'm thrilled about that. My baby girl. And of course I have my niece Brooke as well. But the biggest can do for me, considering what I had been through in the last, 12 to 15 years, is being able to snap. And I'm not going to use the word snap out of it. Being happy, finding my happy. I think it's so important. We can lose weight, but if you lose weight and you're still unhappy, or if you're still bitter about things in life, or if you still, you know what I mean? My biggest accomplishment in the last few years and what I've done with keto, I didn't lose over 100 pounds with just keto. It was keto, intermittent fasting, exercise, and mindset change. Mindset change. So my biggest can do is finding my happy and really, really being in that place and enjoying it, enjoying life.
Right? I think that's so critical in everything because if you have a positive attitude, it just spirals. And conversely, if your attitude is not one of positivity, it's like a cloud,
Right.
and the positivity is like a ray of sunshine. And I'm not saying that every day is going to be, the easiest thing in the world because it's not, especially
It's not.
it's not even you know today you have challenging days and challenging moments, but it's those positive things and those role models in your life, your parents, your kids, your friends that are there for you and support you and love you, that are able to get you through the difficult times. And I think that's great. And to being able to reflect like you do is really awesome as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
it's a real gift, to be able to do that. And the fact that you're now using this platform to educate and to inspire people is, I always say if I can help one person, we've done it because that person's going to help somebody else, and then it's just going to snowball, and that's what it's all about. So,
I agree
Eric,
100%. I agree 100%. I have to say that my niece, I mentioned the 3 Ds that I have endured, which is death, depression, and divorce. The death was of my 22-year-old niece who passed away from diabetic complications. She is one of
I'm
my
sorry.
wives. Oh, no worries. Thank you. Had I found keto prior to her passing, because she passed in 2017, um, had I found this lifestyle before she passed on, she may still be here. So I make sure to continue to give my baby girl, Imani Shea Bell, her flowers in heaven every day. She is my motivation. And she, is why I like to pay it forward. I like to meet another young lady like my niece to say, baby girl, you do not have to live this way. Keto is really changing lives and saving lives. I'm so thrilled about it. So thrilled.
That's great. And I'm so thankful that you took the time to share your story about your niece. And, it's great. There's so many people, that need the help, and you're giving the help that's needed. And it's just a great story. And I can't thank you enough for coming on. And I wish you all the success. How do people get a hold of you if they want to follow you? And, please share.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you again for having me on. I appreciate this. It's a huge honor. I appreciate it. And you can find me on Instagram, Beautiful Girl Gone Keto, for additional information about the event Or if you need some assistance, you need a support group, you're looking for a like-minded coach. I like to talk to everyone, but if you are 40 and above, I'm your girl. But you can go to beautifulgirlgoneketo.com for additional information about the support group and about the event that is going to be epic here in Orlando, Florida. I mentioned I started my Bronze Diamonds cosmetic lip line, and you can go to bronzediamonds.com. That's with an S at the end. And I have department store quality lip line.
Wow, I told you on the phone the other day, I'm excited to get some product. I don't know if it's gonna work for me. Although guys do wear makeup nowadays, and I could use some work.
They do, but we might want to get mom something to go under the tree, or
Right.
for what's the next holiday that's coming up? You know, your significant others and people in your life. So absolutely.
Most definitely. Well, Erika, I can't thank you enough again. It's been an absolute pleasure today. I look forward to our continued relationship, and please, if there's anything and everything that I can do to help and support in any way possible, you know, we're always here, and I really appreciate it. Okay.
Same here. I look forward to meeting with you and having further connection. But you stay blessed, and thank you for your time.
You got it. Hold on. We'll pause this. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day, guys.